We're live. It doesn't look like I'm live, but I am. Yep. Not. So the normal people haven't showed up yet. It would be nice if they were waiting, but it doesn't matter. Now, let's see. Oh, I need to put a link to the Discord. Okay, I forgot to do that. Oops. Create invite. Copy. And boom. Okay, so I put a link to the Discord in the chat, so if people want to join me on Discord. I'm trying to get it to where people can hear people talk to me on Discord loud and clear. I spend like an hour. I guess that's not that long, but I spent an hour trying to do it to no avail. There's like a million videos on YouTube showing you how to do it, and none of them work. It's very discouraging and very depressing. I was doing that. I've been on my computer since 11 a.m. trying to mess with it, and I've to no avail. You people, so the way hello, my name is Adam Brazell. I'm the Bible Nutter. What we're going to do today is do a very simple Bible study of Daniel chapter 8 or Daniel chapter 11 and Daniel 11 and Daniel 8 and 11. They're talking about the same thing. So we're going to be switching back and forth. I'm going to do the best I can. Daniel is talking about end times prophecy, stuff that hasn't happened yet. And the purpose of this stream is just a quick and easy Bible study. I'm just going to read the chapter, then we're going to talk about it, and that's pretty much it. Very simple. The longer I've been doing this, the more involved I kind of want it to be. I only started doing it because it was easy. And now it's, well, I just want to do more. I don't know. I don't even want to talk about it because if I talk about it, then I won't do it. But, so that's all that. Join me on Discord. What happens is after I'm done talking about the Bible, then I hop over to Discord, and then we can just talk face to face about it. But people cannot hear. The audience cannot hear the other audience members talking on Discord very loudly. You can hear them, but it's very quiet. And I don't know how to fix it. I'm sure it's just a quick couple clicks that will fix it, but I don't know how to do it. You know, it's kind of like how an electrician or a plumber or a mechanic will like charge you hundreds of dollars to fix something like tighten a bolt. Well, like voice chat in sound systems on computers are like the same thing. It's a quick fix. It's simple to do. I just don't know how to do it. I would be willing to pay someone $100 or hundreds of dollars just to be able to set this stuff up for me so I can do it. I have the content. I have the ideas. I forget what it's called, but it's when you can talk without having to pause, like just continuously talk. I can do that. I don't struggle with that. So I have a public speaking ability. I'm not shy. I can do it. I just don't have the setup. I have to do it all myself. Woe is me. So that's it. I got to figure it all out. But without further ado, we are in Daniel chapter 11, King James Version. Is there any other news? I don't think there's any other news. It's just a normal chaotic life in the great America where everything is good and perfect, and we're so blessed to live in America. We're so blessed to live in America. Why is why is everything never, I don't know. I want to say it's always something, but it's almost always something. It's sometimes stuff works out. Oh, let me see here. So we're in Daniel chapter 8 or Daniel chapter 11. And I'll make this bigger so you guys can see it. 300%. How does that sound to you guys? 300%. And all I did was copy and paste this into a Canva document. I use Canva for my thumbnails. I use Canva for like everything. Well, just Canva for documents and thumbnails. Canva's super amazing. It does a whole bunch of stuff. I don't do a whole bunch of stuff, but Canva does a whole bunch of stuff. So we're in Daniel chapter 11, King James Version. Daniel just got sent a vision from God. He first mentioned it in Daniel chapter 8, and there's going to be a lot of overlapping between Daniel 8 and Daniel 11. And I'll do the best I can. I don't know everything. I'm not the all-wise, all-knowing, but I'm doing it. I'm doing it. But we're going to go. We're going to go, do the best we can, talk about it, and then that's it. I just want to start, but I'll just start. There's too much to think about. Okay, I'm just going to start. Daniel chapter 11 in the King James Version. Here we go. Also, in the first year of Darius the Mede, even I stood to confirm and to strengthen him. And now and now I will show thee the truth. Behold, there shall stand up yet 3 kings in Persia, and the fourth shall be far richer than they all, and by his strength through his riches he shall stir up all against the realm of Gracia. And a mighty king shall stand up, that shall rule with great dominion and do according to his will. And when he shall stand up, his kingdom shall be broken, and shall be divided toward the 4 winds of heaven, and not to his posterity, nor according to his dominion which he ruled, for his kingdom shall be plucked up even for others beside those. And the king of the south shall be strong, and one of his princes, and he shall be strong above him, and have dominion, and his domain shall be a great dominion. And in the end of years they shall join themselves together, for the king's daughter of the south shall come to the king of the north to make an agreement. But they shall not retain the power of the arm, neither shall he stand, nor his arm, but she shall be given up, and they that brought her, and he that begat her, and he that strengthened her in these times. But out of a branch of her root shall one stand up in his estate, which shall come with an army, and shall enter into the fortress of the king of the north, and shall deal against them, and shall prevail. And also shall carry captives into Egypt their gods, with their princes, and with their precious vessels of silver and of gold, and he shall continue more years than the king of the north. So the king of the south shall come into his kingdom, and shall return into his own land. But his sons shall be stirred up, and shall assemble a multitude of great forces, and one shall certainly come and overflow and pass through, and then shall he return and be stirred up even to his fortress. And the king of the south shall be moved with choler, and shall come forth and fight with him, even with the king of the north, and he shall set forth a great multitude, but the multitude shall be given into his hand. And when he hath taken away the multitude, his heart shall be lifted up, and he shall cast down many 10,000s, but he shall not be strengthened by it. For the king of the north shall return, and shall set forth a multitude greater than the former, and shall certainly come after certain years with a great army and with much riches. And in those times there shall be many stand up against the king of the south, and also the robbers of thy people shall exalt themselves to establish the vision, but they shall fall. So the king of the north shall come, and cast up a mount, and take the most fenced cities, and the arms of the south shall not withstand, neither his chosen people, neither shall there be any strength to withstand. But he that cometh against him shall do according to his own will, and none shall stand before him, and he shall stand in the glorious land which by his hand shall be consumed. He shall also set his face to enter with the strength of his whole kingdom. And the upright ones with him, thus shall he do, and he shall give him the daughter of women, corrupting her, but she shall not stand on his side, neither before him. And after this shall he turn his face unto the isles, and shall take many, but a prince for his own behalf shall but a prince for his own behalf shall cause the reproach offered by him to cease. Without his own reproach he shall cause it to turn upon him. Then he shall turn his face toward the fort of his own land, but he shall stumble and fall, and not be found. Then shall stand up in his estate a raiser of taxes in the glory of the kingdom, but within few days he shall be destroyed, neither in anger nor in battle. And in his estate shall stand up a vile person, to whom they shall not give honor of the kingdom, but he shall come in peaceably and obtain the kingdom by flatteries. And with the arms of a flood shall they be overflown from before him, and shall be broken, yea, also the prince of the covenant. And after the league made with him, he shall work deceitfully, for he shall come up and shall become strong with a small people. He shall enter peaceably even upon the fattest places of the province, and he shall do that which his fathers have not done, nor his fathers' fathers. He shall scatter among them the prey, and spoil, and riches. Yea, he shall forecast his devices against the strongholds, even for a time. And he shall stir up his power and his courage against the king of the south with a great army, and the king of the south shall be stirred up to battle with a very great and mighty army. But he shall not stand, for they shall forecast devices against him. Yea, they that feed of the portion of his meat shall destroy him. And his army shall overflow, and many shall fall down slain. And both of these kings' hearts shall be to do mischief, and they shall speak lies at one table. But it shall not prosper, for yet the end shall be at the time appointed. Then shall he return into his land with great riches, and his heart shall be against the holy covenant, and he shall do exploits, and return to his own land. At the time appointed he shall return, and come toward the south, but it shall not be as the former or as the latter. For the ships of Chittim shall come against him. Therefore he shall be grieved, and return, and have indignation against the holy covenant. So shall he do. He shall even return, and have intelligence with them that forsake the holy covenant. And arms shall stand on his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength, and shall take away the daily sacrifice, and shall place the abomination that maketh death desolate. I do want to underline this. And such as do wickedly against the covenant he shall corrupt by flatteries. But the people that do know their God shall be strong and do exploits. And they that understand among the people shall instruct many, yet they shall fall by the sword and by flame, by captivity and by spoil many days. Now when they shall fall, they shall be holpen helped with a little help, but many shall cleave to them with flatteries. And some of them of understanding shall fall, to try them, and to purge, and to make them white, even to the time of the end, because it is yet for a time appointed. And the king shall do according to his will, and he shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak marvelous things against the God of gods, and shall prosper till the indignation be accomplished. For that that is determined shall be done. Ah. Neither shall he regard the God of his fathers, nor the desire of women, nor regard any God, for he shall magnify himself above all. But in his estate shall be honor but in his estate shall he honor the God of forces, and a God whom his fathers knew not shall he honor with gold and silver, and with precious stones and pleasant things. Thus shall he do in the most strongholds with a strange God, whom he shall acknowledge and increase with glory, and he shall cause them to rule over many, and shall divide the land for gain. And at the time of the end shall the king of the south push at him, and the king of the north shall come against him like a whirlwind, with chariots and with horsemen, and with many ships, and he shall enter into the countries, and shall overflow and pass over. He shall enter into the glorious land, and many countries. He shall enter in also into the glorious land, and many countries shall be overthrown. But these shall escape out of his hand, even Edom and Moab, and the chief of the children of Ammon. What is that? Why? I want to make this green. So something is wrong with my live chat. I don't know what it is. There we are. I may be the only one who watches this stream, which is fine, because I'm doing it anyway. He shall stretch forth his hand also upon the countries. Oh. He shall stretch forth his hand also upon the countries, and the land of Egypt shall not escape. But he shall have power over the treasures of gold and of silver, and over all the precious things of Egypt. And the Libyans and the Ethiopians shall be at his steps. But tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him. Therefore he shall go forth with great fury to destroy and utterly to make away many. And he shall plant the tabernacles of his palace between the seas in the glorious holy mountain. Yet he shall come to his end, and none shall help him. Okay, that is Daniel chapter 11. There's actually only a little bit of overlapping between 8 and 11 that I can tell. But this is all about the Antichrist. This is all the Antichrist. So, italics, bold. So I'm going to do the best I can to make it interesting, but at the end of the stream, I'm going to put a summary. I'll put a summary so that anyone who doesn't watch it can just read the summary. Or if anyone, for myself, because I actually want to know some stuff. So when does it first, so verse 36, and the king, this is the Antichrist, shall do according to his will. He shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak marvelous things against God. This is the, so for certain, this is the Antichrist right here. Okay. I'm going to make it italics underlined. Bold italics. Bold italics. So all this for certain, verse 36 and further is 100% talking about the Antichrist, what he is like, what's he gonna do. He mentions that he's gonna, like, where does it say Egypt? It says the king of the south shall push at him, also the king of the north shall come against him like a whirlwind. Let's make this green as well. He shall enter into the glorious land. The glorious land is Israel. Let's make this. How does blue look? Does blue look good? I mean it's okay. I'll maybe make it red. Into the glorious. That looks fine. Okay. So this might not be that interesting to look at, but I don't know. I'm gonna do it. So here we go. It is talking about the Antichrist, the end of the world. Where's he coming from? What's he doing? All the stuff he does. Okay, here we go. So the first year Darius the Mede, Daniel stood to confirm and strengthen. So Daniel helps Darius the Mede, who's not a Jew or a Christian, but some pagan king. He strengthens him. So he's like a good servant, he obeys him. Well, that's nice. I will show thee the truth. There shall stand up yet 3 kings in Persia. Okay, now we're starting. So verse 2 is when he just gets right into it. Verse 2, okay. Make it italics. I don't even know if there's any point in making italics. Uh, 3 kings in Persia. Let's make this orange. How does orange look? Orange looks okay. Let's make it bold. So there shall stand up yet 3 kings in Persia, and the 4th shall be far richer than they all, and by his strength and riches he shall stir up all against Grecia. Okay, so Persia, 3 kings in Persia. Now I did, so I do have some Google Maps. Greece is supposed to be Greece. Gracia is supposed to be Greece over here. That's supposed to be Gracia, Greece. And Persia is supposed to be in this area, around Iran, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. I looked up where was Media and Persia. And if you can see this little map here, you can't see it, and I can't zoom in. If I zoom in, it just makes this smaller. But Egypt is right here. If you see my little mouse, here's Egypt, and then so here's Israel, and across here, this is Media, and this is Persia, this whole area here, Media and Persia. And when you look at a map, here is Egypt, and it was like right over here. So Iran, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. This area here is Media and Persia. Now in Daniel chapter 8, here's Gracia. Let's go to Daniel chapter 8. Let's look at that one. Well, actually, this is my summary notes from Daniel chapter 8 that I put at the description of the video. The kings of Media and Persia are around Iran, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. The king of Grecia is modern-day Greece, or around that area. Media and Persia will become strong, and then Grecia will defeat them. Then Grecia will become strong, and then Grecia will be defeated for no reason. Just be broken just without cause, for no reason. Then four kingdoms shall arise from the north, east, south, and west, the four winds of heaven, which is the north, east, south, and west, of Grecia. And out of one of them is the Antichrist. Now, I don't think it's Egypt, because it talks about how the Antichrist is going to invade Egypt, so it's definitely not Egypt. I think it's Rome. I think it's Rome, and I think it's the Pope. So here's Grecia. It says, out of Grecia from the north, east, south, and west, there's going to be four kingdoms come up, and out of one of those kingdoms, the Antichrist is going to come. Here's Israel. Israel's right here. Israel is the center of attention. Everything surrounding Israel and everything surrounding it is important for biblical purposes. But here's Greece, which is supposed to be Gracia, and I think Italy, Rome, I think out of Rome is where the Antichrist is going to come up. That's what a whole bunch of other people think. I don't think it's these other countries. Austria, Slovakia, Hungary, Romania. Maybe it's Ukraine. Do you think it could be Ukraine? The Antichrist will come up out of Ukraine? I don't think so. I think it's Rome, Italy. This is Turkey. Okay, so here's Media and Persia are in this area. Here's Grecia. Okay, so we got that. Four kingdoms arise out of Grecia, and one of them the Antichrist. I think it's Rome. The Antichrist is strong. He makes witchcraft mainstream. Does all the stuff supposed to take place for 2,300 days? Okay, now that being broken, whereas four stood up, the kingdom of Gracia will be broken, and four will stand up out of the nation, but not in his power. I said, is there four kingdoms in a kingdom? So that was Daniel chapter 8. Now we're going. Let's look at Daniel. This is Daniel 8. I put this little mark. Oh, you guys can't see it. This little 8 with a line through it here I put just to indicate that this is Daniel chapter 8. Just to remind me that this I'm reading. Daniel chapter 8. So, all the stuff I had up here is just, he says, Daniel gives a vision. He saw that there's a ram and there's a goat, and he does some stuff. And then he says, how long shall it be? He says 2,300 days. And then he explains the vision. He says, I'm going to make you know what's going to happen. The ram is the kings of Media and Persia. The rough goat is the king of Gracia. The great horn between his eyes is the first king. Now that being broken, whereas four stood up for it, the four kingdoms shall stand up out of a nation, but not in his power. So which horn is broken? Control F. Broken. Okay, so therefore the he goat, that which is Gracia, waxed very great, and he was strong. The great horn was broken. Wait, what? Okay, so who gets broken? Okay. Okay, I lifted up my eyes and saw a ram which had two horns. And two horns were high, but one was higher than the other. Okay, the ram has two horns. One's higher than the other. The ram pushes west, north, and south, but not east. So the ram is probably coming from the east. Actually, he is coming from the east. It says it's from Media and Persia. Okay. So and this ram does amazing things. So Media and Persia are very strong. They do. No one can stop them. And then Gracia, a goat, came from the west on the face of the whole earth. and touched not the ground, and the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. This is the kingdom of Gracia. And he came to the ram with two horns, which had which I had seen standing before the river, and I ran unto him in the fear of his power. And I came close to the ram, and he was moved with Connor against him, and brake his two horns, and there was no power in the ram. So Gracia beats Media and Persia. He cast to the ground, and there was none to deliver. Therefore the he-goat waxed great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken. So Gracia has a great horn, and it is broken. And for it came up four notable horns, or notable ones, toward the four winds of heaven. The four winds of heaven is north, east, south, west. So Gracia has the horn that is broken. So Gracia is the goat with the horn. That's his kingdom. And then it's broken. And then four kingdoms stand up from it. And out of one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceeding great toward the south and toward the east and toward the pleasant land. So he says out of them, out of Gracia came forth, or no, it says, so Gracia is broken, and then when it's defeated, four kingdoms toward the north, east, south, and west come up. Out of one of these kingdoms is this little horn, which is the Antichrist. This Antichrist is very great, exceeding great toward the south and toward the east and toward the pleasant land. The pleasant land is Israel. What else would it be? So toward the south and toward the east. So if I look at my Google map, here's Gracia, and he's going to be, what does it say he's going to be? He waxed exceeding great toward the southeast and Israel. So here's south. Now it already says Egypt, he takes over, so we know he's not coming from Egypt. He takes over Egypt. He fights Egypt. So south, east, and Israel. So this curve, Libya, Egypt, Israel, Syria, Turkey, Georgia, this whole curve, he says he's strong against them. That's the way I'm reading it. So, which makes me believe he's coming from, like, Greece, Gracia, and I believe he's coming from Rome, Italy. And then he is oppressing everyone else. That's what I believe. Okay. Whoa, Dustin, hello. I didn't realize someone was here. Dustin says, wow, nobody on stream but me. Mom told me to say this, but here we have Moses reincarnated. Love on YouTube. Live autocorrect. The beard will save us slaughter. Yeah, hey, Dustin, I'm sorry not paying attention. I didn't think anyone was coming. I did not think anyone was coming. Because it's not going to be that interesting until it's all done. But I don't know. But thank you for showing up. Thank you for commenting. Okay, let me see here. So, Gracia is broken. Four kingdoms come up out of it. One of those kingdoms is the Antichrist. This little horn is the Antichrist. And then he waxed great, he exceeding great toward the south and toward the east and toward the pleasant land, which is Israel. So I think it's Rome. And it waxed great even to the host of heaven, cast down some of the host of stars to ground, stamped upon them. He magnified himself above the prince. This is the Antichrist. By him the daily sacrifice was taken away. Daily sacrifice was taken away. How long shall this happen? He says 2,300 days. Okay. I will make thee know what's going to happen. The ram thou sawest with the two horns is Media and Persia. The rough goat is the king of Gracia with the great horn that is between his eyes. Okay. Now that being broken, which is the Gracia's horn, his first horn is broken, whereas four stood up for it. I don't think it's for it as in to help him. I think it's for as in that he's broken and then just four stand up out. Just four stand up for it. Like filling in the void or something. A gap, a power gap. I'm going to check chat just in a second. Four kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power. So this makes me think that they're going to be standing up in Gracia? Four kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power. So does this mean these four kingdoms are going to come out of Gracia? That was something I was not sure about. Because if it's going to be standing up out of Gracia, then this is Gracia. It gets defeated. And then if four kingdoms are going to stand up out of it, then this means it would have to be somewhere like Albania, North Macedonia, whatever this place is, Athens. So it's either they're going to stand up out of Gracia, around this area, or it's going to stand up in four kingdoms, north, east, south, and west, which I think is Rome, Italy. I think it's Italy, Rome. I think it's the Pope. I think it's the Antichrist. I think the Pope is the Antichrist. Dustin says, I've just been doing stuff because life, so a lot has happened. Haven't been able to join live, but been watching stream in the meantime. But have been watching them in my own time. Hey, thank you. You are the man. I have no idea how this will impact other people. I don't know if anyone watches the streams, if anyone takes anything I say to heart. I do. I do this for me. I primarily do the streams for me. And to remind me that this is what I want to be doing. And this should benefit others because I'm talking about the Bible. The Bible is the Word of God. How can it not benefit? But thank you for watching and commenting. So, now that being broken, whereas four stood up four kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power. I don't know if they're going to be standing up in Gracia or they're standing up on the four northeast, southwest of Gracia. I'm not sure. If they're standing up out of Gracia, I think it's Rome. Rome, Vatican, Italy. In the latter time of their kingdom, when transgressors are come to a full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up. So in the latter time of their kingdom, so later in their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to a full, so this is the end of the world, this king of fierce countenance is Joe Biden. No, this king is the Antichrist. Understanding dark sentences. I don't know what that means. I think it means witchcraft. There's another verse in the Bible that talks about understanding dark things, which is just to mean secret things. But this understanding dark sentences might be witchcraft. And in his power he shall be mighty, but not by his own power. Well, the beast is supposed to give him this power. There's the beast, the Antichrist, and the false prophet. I forget how they're differentiated. It talks about it in Revelation. But there's the beast, the Antichrist, and the false prophet, the unholy trinity. He shall destroy wonderfully and shall prosper in practice as in practice witchcraft, and shall destroy the mighty and holy people. Yeah, he's going to fight the saints and he's going to defeat us. And through his policy, he's going to cause craft to prosper, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall stand up against the prince of princes, that's Jesus Christ, but he shall be broken. Okay. Now back to Daniel 11. That was Daniel 8, and now we're back to Daniel 11. There shall stand up yet three kingdoms, three kings in Persia. The fourth shall be far richer than they all. And by his riches and through his riches he shall stir up all against the realm of Gracia. Okay, so Persia and Media, it says three kings and then there's a fourth, and they're going to fight against Gracia. Okay, we got that. A mighty king shall stand up, and a mighty king shall stand up that shall rule with great dominion and do according to his will. This might be the Antichrist, but we're going to keep reading just to be sure that might be the Antichrist. It doesn't say where he's going to stand up, it just says he does. But it says Persia has three kings and then a fourth, far richer than they. They're going to fight against Gracia. Okay. And when he shall stand up, his kingdom... Wait. And a mighty king shall stand up and shall rule with great dominion, do according to his will. And when he shall stand up, his kingdom shall be broken and shall be divided to those four winds of heaven. His kingdom shall be broken and shall be divided. So his kingdom is going to be divided toward the four winds of heaven, and not to his posterity, nor according to his dominion which he ruled. For his kingdom shall be plucked up even for others beside those. Okay, so this is Gracia. This right here, this mighty king is Gracia. Let me make this, should I make it a color? Let's make it green. Oh, that kind of looks ugly. Make it bold. We'll make it bold. This is Gracia. This mighty king that will stand up, that will do according to his will. It's kind of a funny thing because every other time it says do according to his will, it's talking about the Antichrist. Well, it's almost like it's throwing in there to trip me up or something. No, this is the king of Gracia. This is the king. This is Gracia, king of Gracia. He will stand up. His kingdom shall be broken. Okay, king, he's broken. And then his kingdom shall be divided toward the four winds of heaven, north, east, south, west, and not to us posterity. What does posterity mean? I just want to look that up. Control V. Posterity, a noun referred to future generations. Okay, yeah, just future generations of these people, your inheritance. Yeah. So, yeah. It says not to his posterity. So when his kingdom falls, it gets utterly plucked up. And it says that, utterly plucked up. It doesn't fall to his kin. It doesn't fall to his sons or daughters or just his future, his heirs, his children. When it gets destroyed, it's utterly plucked up. Do you think Dustin says, do you think he is talking, he is going to step up on the temple of Israel for the resurrection part of the Bible because Gracia is by Israel? So do you think he's talking going to step up on the temple of Israel for the resurrection? So the Antichrist comes before the rapture. The way it's supposed to work is the Antichrist is going to come to Jerusalem in Israel. He's going to make the temple in Jerusalem desolate. He's going to commit some abomination in the temple and make it desolate. But right now, the Jews have not rebuilt their temple. The temple is destroyed. So this Bible prophecies cannot happen until the Jews rebuild their temple. So everyone who studies the Bible prophecy, they want the Jews to rebuild their temple. Because all these Bible prophecies refer to the abomination of desolation. You hear that word, that phrase a lot, abomination of desolation. Where the Antichrist goes into the Jews' temple, commits some sort of abomination, makes it desolate. The Jews don't have a temple right now. It's destroyed. They have to rebuild it in order for these things to even happen. So everyone who studies Bible prophecy actually knows what they're talking about, who's not a pre-tribber and is also using the King James Bible, they're waiting for the Jews to rebuild their temple. That's what we're waiting for. After that, there's going to be great tribulation for 3.5 years, and immediately after the end of that is when Jesus comes back. That's the rapture. Okay, yeah, does that answer your question? So the kingdom of Gracia, he's going to stand up in his kingdom. It's going to be broken. He shall be divided to the four winds of heaven, but not to his posterity. He's going to be plucked up. Nor according to his dominion, which he ruled, for his kingdom shall be plucked up. Okay, so this is King of Gracia. And the king of the south shall be strong, and one of his princes shall be strong above him, and have dominion, and his dominion shall be a great dominion. This king of the south, who is this? Is that Israel? So here's Gracia. It says the king of the south. So I'm assuming anything south of Gracia. It could be Egypt. I don't think it's Egypt. I think Egypt is forever dethroned. I think when God knocked down Egypt, I think there was a prophecy that said that Egypt will never be a world power again. I think. So I don't think the king of the south is Egypt. It could be Israel. Is the king of the south Israel? I'm not sure. Other than that, here's Gracia. So the king of south from Gracia. Libya, Egypt, Chad, Sudan, or Sudan, Saudi Arabia. These are all, this is more east than it is, I'd say, south. I'm not sure, but it says the king of the south, which could be Israel, could be Egypt. I'm not sure. Okay. The king of the south shall be strong, and one of his princes, he shall be strong above him. So the prince is actually going to be stronger than the king. Interesting. And have dominion, and his dominion shall be a great dominion. And in the end of the years they shall join themselves together, for the king's daughter of the south shall come to the king of the north to make an agreement. Whoa, okay. So a south kingdom of Gracia is the south king. Let me underline it. He's going to be strong. One of his princes is going to be even stronger. And at the end, and in the end of years, what the heck does that even mean? End of the world? Dustin says, or the king of the south could rebuild Egypt to be rethroned. I'd have to look up the Bible prophecy. I thought Egypt is going to be forever not a world power. Egypt was a mighty empire, like Babylon, like Rome. They were mighty. Egypt was fearsome, and God knocked them down. And I believe He said they would never rise again. I think. So that's why Egypt to this day is not a world power. They were, but now when you think of world powers, you think of uh, France, Britain, Russia, China, maybe North Korea, Israel, America. And if there's another world power that I forgot, I'm sorry. But that's who you think of. Egypt does not come to mind. Egypt does not come to mind as a world power. Did I mention UK? And in the end of years, they shall join them. So the king of the south. Yeah, thanks, Moses. You're welcome. Oh, am I Moses? With my beard? I'm Moses. Yeah. And in the end of years, okay, so the king of south is going to join with the. Okay. For the king's daughter of the south shall come to the king of the north to make an agreement. Okay. Underline it. So the king's daughter of the south is going to make an agreement with the king of the north. The king in the north. To make an agreement. But she shall. Now he gets it 30 minutes later. Yeah. But she shall not retain the power of the arm. So she's not going to be the strong one in the relationship. So the south kingdom is going to be the weaker one. Nor his arm. So, wait. She will not retain power of the arm, neither shall he stand, nor his arm. So they're both weak. So a bunch of weaklings marrying each other. But she shall be given up. What does that mean? The daughter of this south king shall be given up. What does that mean? And they shall, and they that brought her, and he that begat her. They're all going to be given up, and he that strengthened her in these times. They're going to be given up? They're going to be like defeated, surrendered? What does that mean? But out of the branch of her roots, the branch of her roots. So I guess her roots are going to be her children, one of her children. So out of the branch of her roots. So maybe one of her children's children? The branch of her roots. Maybe that's one of her children's children. Shall one stand up in his estate, which shall come with an army, and shall enter into the fortresses of the king of the north, and shall deal against them, and shall prevail. So do they break their covenant? Do they betray them? This king, the king of the south's daughter, marries the king of the north, but then, like, she's given up. Do they divorce or something? And they that brought her, and he that begat her, and he that strengthened her in these times, but out of the branch of her root shall stand up one in his estate, which shall come with an army, and shall enter into the fortress of the king of the north, and shall deal against them, and shall prevail. So does this daughter of the south get married to the king of the north, and then they get divorced or something? And then one of her children eventually rises up against the king of the north again and defeats them. And shall also carry captives into Egypt. Okay, and shall carry captives into Egypt their gods with their princes. Wait a second. So you think that, so maybe you're right, Dustin. Maybe this kingdom of the south is Egypt, because they're carrying away captives into Egypt, their gods with their princes, with their precious vessels. Why would they? And he shall continue more years than the king of the north. So is this south? Is Egypt this one is talking about? It does say they're both weak, so Egypt's still not a world power. So perhaps this south kingdom is Egypt. Well, let's just plug it in and see if it works. For the king's daughter of Egypt shall come to the king of the north, and then they're going to get divorced. And then she's going to have a son, and actually doesn't mention the gender. No, it does say, it says his estate. So it says, so her son, wait, what? Branch of her root shall one stand up in his estate, which shall come with an army, and shall enter, and shall, actually it's not his. It actually doesn't mention the gender of this person. Okay. So perhaps this king in the south is the king of Egypt. We'll see if that works. Okay. Which shall come and shall enter the fortress of the king of the north, and shall deal against them and prevail. They're going to carry away captives into Egypt. Okay. So why would they carry captives into Egypt? Like if it's not, if this king of the south is not Egypt, then why would Egypt just let people carry captives into their land? That wouldn't make any sense. It just doesn't make sense to me. So I'm going to assume this king of the south is Egypt, and the king of the daughter, this daughter marries the king of the north. Also, this could all be like symbolic too. Ugh. Well, we'll try it literally, and if it doesn't work, then it's symbolically. That's how you know. That's how you do Bible study. Does it work literally? If not, then that's spiritually then. That's how we know. Okay. With their princes, with precious silver, and he shall continue more years than the king of the north. Okay, so his kingdom's just going to last longer. Okay. So the king of the south shall come into his kingdom, and shall return into his own land. So the king of the south shall come into his kingdom, and shall return to his... So it is a he? Or is this still the father that begot the daughter? I'm not sure. But this might be Egypt. This might be Egypt. But his sons shall be stirred up, and shall assemble a multitude of great force, and one shall certainly come and overflow and pass through. I'm sure that means something. I'm not sure. And then shall he return and be stirred up even to his fortress. I'm sure that means a whole bunch. Overflow and pass through. The Bible mentions overflow a lot. Probably a conspiracy at that time. Well, I don't know if this has happened yet. Dustin Sama, I don't know if this has happened yet. It might have happened. It might not have happened yet. This might not have happened yet. This is a prophecy. This is stuff that's supposed to happen. Some of the stuff has already happened. Some of the stuff has not happened yet. So I'm not sure. I'm just going to make this... Should I do anything with it? I'm going to make it freaking gray. Now you guys can't see it. Okay, well, let's not make it gray then. Let's make it pink. How's pink look? That looks fine. It kind of doesn't look fine, but it'll be fine. I probably shouldn't even highlight it because I'm not going to look up what overflow means. It talks about overflowing stuff a lot. How do I get rid of the color black? Okay. I'll just underline it. How about that? Overflow and pass through. And the king of the south shall be moved with color, and that's like hatred, and shall come. Wait a second. But his son shall be stirred up, and a similar multitude. Wait a second. Okay. So the king of the south shall come into his kingdom, and shall return to his own land. That might be Egypt. But his son shall be stirred up, and shall assemble a multitude of great forces, and one shall certainly come, and overthrow and pass through. And then shall he return and be stirred up even to his fortress. So his sons, the king of the south, his sons are going to fight against some nation. Maybe he's the king of the north again. They're going to overflow and pass through. And then they're going to return and be stirred up even to their fortress. So they're going to be pushed back. And the king of the south, shall be moved with choler and shall come to fight. So it's come forth to fight with them. And shall come to fight with them with the king of the north. So they're fighting again. The king of the south and the king of the north are fighting again. And he shall set forth a great multitude, but the multitude shall be given into his hand. So the king of the south, which I think is Egypt sends forth a great multitude, but the king of the north defeats it. Okay. And when he hath taken away the multitude, so king of the north, king of the south sends a multitude. King of the south sends a multitude, an army. King of the north knocks it down. Then the king's heart is lifted up, and he shall cast down many 10,000s, but he shall not be strengthened by it. So, I don't know, is this Egypt we're talking about? Egypt? How many people live in Egypt? Egypt. Oh, 109 million. Egypt. Active. Egypt active military personnel. So as of 2023, the Army has an estimated strength of 310,000, of which approximately 90 to 120,000 are professionals and the rest conscripts. That's enough. That's enough to match what the Bible is saying. If this king of the south is Egypt, which it might be. It says the king of the north the king of the north, and he shall set forth a great multitude, but the multitude shall be given into his hand. So king of south fights against king of north beats it. And when he hath taken away the multitude, the king of the north beats it. His heart, the king of the north, is lifted up, and he shall going to cast down many 10,000s of the king of the south. But he shall not be strengthened by it. So the king of the north is going to kill many 10,000s of the king of the south, which might be Egypt. And not be strengthened by it means it didn't make a difference. For the king of the north shall return and shall set forth a multitude greater than the former, and shall certainly come after certain years with a great army and with much riches. Okay, so the king of the north is going to fight, set forth a multitude greater than the former. The king of the south sends a multitude against him. King of the north beats it. Then king of the north sends a multitude even bigger than that to fight against him. Dustin says, why is the north and the south always a symbol of war? A little creepy. I don't know. It's in the Bible. That's why. It's in the Bible. But the kings... Okay. And in those times shall many stand up against the king of the south. Many shall stand up against the king of the south. Also the robbers of thy people shall exalt themselves to establish the vision, but they shall fall. Is Egypt really this important? The king of the south could be Israel. But I think we'll just say it's Israel or Egypt or something else. I'm not sure. It's just giving so much attention, so much spotlight to Egypt if it's Egypt. I did not think Egypt was that important. In those times there should be many stand up against the king of the south. Could be Israel, could be Egypt, could be somebody else. And the robbers of thy people shall exalt themselves to establish the vision. What does that even mean? But they shall fall. So the king of the north shall come and cast up a mount and take the most fenced cities, and the arms of the south shall not withstand, neither his chosen people, neither shall there be any strength to withstand. Okay. Let's make, so, I don't know. Let's make it green. I'm going to eventually make all these verses that talk about the king of the north fighting the king of the south like green. But he that cometh against... Wait a second. So the king of the north shall come and cast up a mount and take the most fenced cities, and the arms of the south shall not withstand, neither his chosen people, neither shall there be any strength to withstand. But he shall come against him. Whoa. And the arms of the south shall not withstand, neither his chosen people, neither there be any strength to withstand. But he that cometh against him, who is this he? Is this the Antichrist? Who is this he? But he that cometh against him, this king of the north, shall do according to his will. I mentioned that. This is totally the Antichrist. I'm going to underline it, but I think this is the Antichrist. So do according to his will, and in verse like 2, yeah, this a mighty king will stand up and do according to his will. Up here, according to his will, is the king of Gracia. Down here, this might be the Antichrist. Whoa, what? Did I miss it? Oh, crap. Where was I? Oh, here we are. Verse 16. But he that cometh up against the king of the north will do according to his will, and none shall stand before him, and he shall stand in the glorious land, that's Israel, which by his hand shall be consumed. So he's going to destroy it. Israel has been destroyed so many times. But hey, it's for Bible prophecy purposes. You need to be rebuilt and destroyed. It's for the Bible prophecy. Hey, you gotta do it. He shall set his face to enter with strength of his whole kingdom, and upright ones with him. What does that even mean? Upright ones with him. What does that mean? So, maybe he's Pope and he's a Catholic, and there are actually some good Christian Catholics with him. They just don't realize they're serving the Antichrist at the moment? Maybe. Dustin says, is this text for the prophecy pretense or past tense situation? Both. This text is a prophecy. Some of the stuff has happened already. Some of the stuff has not happened yet. I'm not sure which is which, though. I know anytime it mentions the Antichrist, that's not happened yet. The Antichrist has not happened yet. Yeah, he's not happened yet. Dustin says, an achievement popped for your game on stream, by the way. Oh boy. Yeah, stuff like that happens. Okay, so I think this is the Antichrist, but I need to keep reading to be sure. He shall also set his face to enter the strength of his whole kingdom and the upright ones with him. Maybe they're Catholic Christians if the Antichrist is the Pope. Maybe. That's just a thought. Thus shall he do, wait, he shall give him the daughter of women. Okay, what? Okay, so he that cometh against him is going to do according to his will. He's going to stand against the glorious land, which by his hand will be consumed. He shall set his faith with the strength of his whole kingdom, and his upright ones with him. Thus shall he do. And he shall give him the daughter of women, corrupting her. But she shall not stand on his side, neither be for him. He shall give him the daughter of women, corrupting her. What? He shall give him. Him who? The daughter of women. What's that mean? Corrupting her. Corrupting the daughter of woman? But she shall not stand on his side, neither be for him. Who is he giving this woman to? Is this the Antichrist? I'll come back to it. I will come back to it, okay. And after this shall he turn his face unto the isles. I think an isle is just like an island. Let me look it up just to be sure. I think an isle is an island. An isle is an island or peninsula. See, I was right. I know so much stuff. I'm so smart. Unto the isles. Okay, so he's going to turn his face unto the isles. Let me just look at Google Maps again. So if this is the Antichrist, he's coming out of Rome. He says he's going to fight against the king of the who? King of the North. Then he's going to fight the islands. So like these islands right here. He's going to fight these ones. Palma, Ibzia. No, it's Ibiza. Ibza. Ibiza. Ibza. You're going to fight these islands? Does this count as an island? It looks like it's attached. Oh, no, it's not attached. It's not attached. This is an island. I wonder if the Antichrist is going to take over these islands. Ha ha ha. That's what you get, Palomero. Okay. Okay, so let me just okay, so but he that shall come against him in those times there shall many stand up against the king of the south, robbers of the people. So shall the king of the north. Let's make it underlined. The king of the north shall come and cast up a mount, take those fenced cities out of the south, and shall not withstand neither chosen people. But he that cometh against him, so this Antichrist, I think this is the Antichrist, I'm not sure of that, is going to fight against the king of the north and do according to his will. And none shall stand before him. He will stay on the glorious land, that's Israel, and destroy it, okay? He's going to give a daughter to someone, not sure what that even means. After this, he will turn his face to the islands, okay? And shall take many... Is this the Antichrist? He shall turn his face unto the islands, and shall take many but a prince for his own behalf, and shall cause the reproach offered by him to cease. Without his own reproach, he shall cause it to turn upon him. I don't even know what I just read. What? Then he shall turn his face toward the fort of his own land, but he shall stumble and fall and not be found. Is this the Antichrist? I'm having a bias because I'm thinking this is the Antichrist. This might not be the Antichrist. Let me just let's make it orange. This might not even be the Antichrist. Let's make it all orange, but this might not even be him. Hey, does that look good to you guys? Does the orange color? No, not really. It doesn't look very good to you guys. Doesn't says Adam, this isn't destroy all humans. You cannot divide and conquer. Leave those islands alone. No, it's not me. It's this guy. He's going to destroy them. Then shall stand up in his... So this guy, he might not be the Antichrist. He shall turn his face toward the fort of his own land. So his own land has a fort. So if I look up which countries have forts in them, maybe that would help. Every country has a fort. Oh, okay. Then shall stand up in his estate. Okay, so he's going to turn his face toward the fort of his own land, but he shall stumble and fall and not be found. I wonder if that's literal. Like he's going on a hiking trip and he's going to stumble and fall and die. And they can't find him. I wonder if it's literal. Wow. Then shall stand up in his estate a raiser of taxes, so that's a Democrat, in the glory of the kingdom, but within few days he shall be destroyed. Oh. Neither in anger nor in battle. He's going to fall off the cliff too. And in his estate shall stand up a vile person, to whom they shall not give honor of the kingdom, but he shall come in peaceably and obtain the kingdom by flatteries. Is this the Antichrist? I wonder if this 21 is the Antichrist. Where is the Antichrist? Where is he? And with the arms of a flood. What does that mean? Like with great power and strength, he overflows and overrun advantage? Like in Civ Revolution? And with the arms of a flood shall they be overflown from before him, and shall be broken, yea, also the prince of the covenant. What is the prince of the covenant? What does that mean? And with the arms of flood, they shall be overflown from before him, and shall be broken. Who? This vile person, no one's going to like him. He's going to come in peaceably. He's going to get the kingdom by flatteries. Typical politician. And with the arms of a flood, arms of a flood shall they, who's they, be overflown from before him. Who's him? This guy with the flatteries? I think them is the flatteries. So he's going to overthrow some people, I think, and shall be broken, yea, also the prince of the covenant. I think? Oh my gosh. It's written in such a way. Whoa, you or me, YouTube lagged a major spike. All good now. Well, that's unfortunate. I hope it does not lag. It says all good now. That's good. Okay. Um, I'm still not sure what it even reads. And after the league made with him, he shall work deceitfully, for he shall come up and shall become strong with a small people. Is this the Antichrist? He shall enter peaceably, even upon the fattest of fattest places of the province, and he shall do that which his fathers have not done. This is the Antichrist. Nor his fathers. He shall scatter among them the prey, and spoil the riches, yea, he shall forecast devices against the strongholds, even for a time. So verse 23, okay? And he shall stir up his power and his courage against the king of the south, maybe Egypt, with a great army, and the king of the south shall be stirred up to battle with a very great and mighty army, but he shall not stand, for they shall forecast devices against him. Yea, they that feed on the portion of his meat shall destroy him. Oh, so he's betrayed. Uh, he's betrayed by his own people, okay? And his army shall overflow. Overflow, what does that mean? What does that mean? And many shall fall down slain. And both these kings' hearts shall be to do mischief. And both of these kings' hearts shall be to do mischief. The king of the south and this Antichrist. And they shall speak lies at one table, but it shall not prosper. They're basically lying to each other back and forth. Wow. For yet the end shall be at the time appointed. And then he, maybe this is the Antichrist, then shall he return into his land with great riches, and his heart shall be against the holy covenant, and shall do exploits, and return unto his own land. And at the time appointed he shall return and come toward the south, but it shall not be as the former or as the latter. So he's doing something differently this time. Okay. For the ships of Shittim shall come against him, therefore shall he be grieved, and return and have indignation against the holy covenant. So indignation is wrath against the holy covenant. The holy covenant is God's people, or the Jews, the Bible, or maybe a deal he made. I'm not sure. So shall he do. He shall even return and have intelligence with them that forsake the holy covenant. Ah. And have intelligence with them that forsake the holy covenant. So I think, okay, so I think this is the Antichrist, and he's a Jew. The Antichrist is a Jew, and or at least that's what I'm getting at. He's a Jew, and he's going to be a bad Jew. Right, he's the Antichrist, and he's going to find the other Jews that hate God, and he's going to have intelligence with them that forsake the holy covenant. So there are Jews that are not Jews. And these Jews, these bad Jews, these false Jews, they're going to conspire together to like destroy the Jewish people or something, or destroy the covenant, destroy something. They're bad guys. Okay. So verse 21 and so on. Verse 21, I believe, is the Antichrist. So let's make him underlined. A raiser of taxes, and then in his estate shall stand up a vile person. I believe this is totally the Antichrist. He's gonna be a vile person. He's gonna come in peaceably and deceive people with flatteries. Well, let's make this first verse red. and make it underlined. Does that look good to you guys? Yeah, sort of. So starting from verse 21, this is the Antichrist. He's gonna be a vile person, come in peaceably. You take the kingdom by flatteries, with arms of flood. He's gonna be with the arms of a flood shall they be overflown. So the Antichrist is gonna send an arms of a flood and I guess take over the kingdom of the north. Okay, so this guy who's turning to take the islands is not the Antichrist. This is just a guy. Wait a second. He that cometh against him shall do according to his will. He that cometh against him shall do according to his will. He shall send the glorious land by his land consumed. It says, wait, then he shall stand and turn his face toward the fort of his own land, but he's going to stumble and fall and not be found. Then shall stand up in his estate a raiser of taxes and the glory of the kingdom. Within a few days he shall be destroyed, neither in anger nor in battle. And in his estate shall stand up a vile person. Verse 21 is the Antichrist, so is this verse 16 is not the Antichrist? He says, but he that cometh against him shall do according to his will, and none shall stand before him. And he shall stand in the glorious land, which is Israel, which by his hand shall be consumed. But this is not the Antichrist? And he will set his face to enter with strength of his whole kingdom, and upright ones with him. Maybe this is not the Catholic Christians that I thought. Thus shall he do. He shall give him the daughter of women, corrupting her, but she shall not stand on his side, neither for him. Don't know what that means. After this shall he turn his face unto the islands, and shall take many. But a prince for his own behalf shall cause the reproach offered by him to cease. I mean, what does that even mean? Without his own reproach he shall cause it to turn upon him. Then he shall turn his face toward the fort of his own land, but he shall stumble and fall and not be found. Then shall stand up a raiser of taxes, who is then destroyed a few days later. And then in his estate shall stand up the Antichrist. Okay. Hey, Awori. I don't know how to say your name. Martha? Hey, Martha, thank you for joining. This is, man, I just want to know the Antichrist. Verse 21, I'm certain, is the Antichrist. He's going to work deceitfully. He's going to enter peaceably. He's going to stir up his power and his courage against the king of the south with a great army. This is the Antichrist. And the king of the south shall be stirred up to battle with a very great and mighty army, but he shall not stand. The king of the south is going to be defeated, for the Antichrist is going to forecast devices against him. Yea, they that feed of the portion of his meat shall destroy him. This is the king of the south. His own people that eat at his own table are going to destroy him, and his army overflow, and many shall fall down slain. Maybe this is Egypt, I don't know. And both these kings shall do mischief. Okay. Then shall he, the Antichrist, I think, return to his own land with great riches, and his heart shall be against the holy covenant. He will do exploits. And at the time appointed, come and toward the south, but it shall be not as the former or the latter. Maybe he's going to be peaceably with the south. For as the ships of Shittim, now I guess I need to look up where Shittim comes from. Where is Shittim? Shittim principal Pho Phoenicium Phoenicium city in Cyprus, situated in the southeast coast near modern Larnaca. The earliest remains of Citium. Is Shittim and Citium the same thing? Cyprus? I love how it just gave me like 10 different locations. The Mediterranean islands? Okay, what are the Mediterranean islands? This is the Mediterranean Sea. So I guess Shittim is somewhere around here. Here's Cyprus. Here's Cyprus, where it mentions Cyprus. Representing Sittim was also used for Cyprus as a whole. It's the southeast coast of modern Larnaca. Southeast coast of modern Larnaca. Okay. Southeast coast. Ugh. Shit, principle of city of Cyprus, situated in southeast coast of modern Larnaca. The earliest remains of Citium, or maybe that's Shittim, are those of Aegean colony of the Mycenaean age. The biblical name Kittim, representing Citium, also used for Cyprus as a whole. Where is Shittim in the Bible? Or Shittim? General descriptor for the Mediterranean islands. For the ships of Shittim, I guess the general Mediterranean islands, the ships of Shittim shall come against him. Therefore he shall be grieved in return, and have indignation against the holy covenant, so that he shall even return and have intelligence within that forsake the holy covenant. So this is the Mediterranean. This is the Tyrrhenian Sea. This is the Mediterranean Sea. Maybe the ships of Shittim are here, Cyprus, like Israel. Here's Cyprus. Maybe here's some islands. There are lots of little islands in here. Okay. And then they're gonna fight against them, which I think is Rome or something. Man, I don't know. Talking to Martha. Martha. None the forsaken one. Okay, for the ships of Shittim shall come against him, therefore he shall be grieved in return and have indignation against the holy covenant. So shall he do, he shall even return and have intelligence with them that forsake the holy covenant. I think he's a Jew, and I think he's a Jew who conspires with other Jews to do un-Jewish things. An arm shall stand on his part, and shall pollute the sanctuary of strength, and shall take away the daily sacrifice, and they shall place the abomination that maketh desolate. No idea who that is or what that means. No, just kidding. That's the Antichrist. That is the Antichrist. He shall pollute the sanctuary of strength. But hey, something else is that it says for the ships of Shittim are going to come against him. So, like, the ships of Shittim are somewhere in this area, in these little islands and stuff. So yeah, the Antichrist is going to come out of this area. I think it's going to be Rome. I think it's the Pope. He matches. He matches all the description. So yeah, the Antichrist is not coming from America. He's not coming from Spain or Portugal. He's not coming from Russia. He's not coming from Ukraine or Norway or UK. He's coming from somewhere around Gracia, which I think it's going to be Rome, Italy. Or Italy, Rome. I think it's the Pope. Okay. He's going to make the abomination of desolation, and such as do wickedly against the covenant he shall corrupt by flatteries. So he's a Jew. He's gonna flatter the other Jews to do bad Jew things. He's coming from Broadway, I hope. Yeah. But the people that do know their God shall be strong and do exploits. Like up, down, left, right, A, X, B, Y. The people that do know their God shall be strong. Okay. And they shall understand among the people and shall instruct many. Yet they shall fall by the sword and by the flame and by captivity and by spoil many days. This is the great tribulation. So this is the abomination of desolation. And if such do wickedly against the covenant, he shall corrupt by flatteries. But the people that do know their God. So verse 31, abomination of desolation. Verse 32, great tribulation. And they shall understand among the people, shall instruct many, and yet they will be... there's people who believe that we're not going to see the Antichrist, that we're not going to be here for him. Dustin says, Hollywood, woo! They think that we're going to be raptured up out of here before the Antichrist, which is just insane. Because it says right here, you're going to take away the daily sacrifice, and they shall place the abomination that maketh desolate. Jesus talks about it in Matthew 24, the abomination of desolation. Daniel talks about it in Daniel 8, 9, and 11. The abomination that maketh desolate. He's going to do wickedly against the covenant. Shall he corrupt by flatteries. But the people that do know their God, which is who? God, the Christians, shall be strong and do exploits. We're going to figure it out somehow. And they that understand among the people shall instruct many, yet they shall fall by the sword. This means that we're going to be here for the Antichrist. We're going to go through the great tribulation. It says right here we're going to fall by the sword, by the flame, by captivity, and by spoil many days. How about the great tribulation days? Now when they shall fall, they shall be helped with a little help, but many shall cleave to them with flatteries. What does that mean? Many shall cleave to them with flatteries. They're going to cling to the righteous with flatteries? Or that they're going to cling to the wicked with flatteries? I'm not sure. And some of them of understanding shall fall, to try them, and to purge, and to make them white. Even to the time of the end, because it is yet for a time appointed. And the king, this is the Antichrist, and the king shall do according to his will, and he shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and shall prosper till the indignation be accomplished, for that is determined shall be done. God already knows this is going to happen. He's writing about it, obviously. Neither shall he regard the God of his fathers. This is like, unless he's like a Buddhist or a Hindu or something, the God of his fathers is always talking about the Jews. The God of his fathers is talking about the Jewish people. The Jews' fathers and their grandfathers and their grandfathers and fathers, they worshipped God. But this Antichrist is not going to regard the God of his fathers, nor the desire of women, nor regard any God. So he's probably not going to be a Buddhist or a Hindu because they regard those ones. But it says that no, he will not regard the God of his fathers. He's totally a Jew. He shall magnify himself above all, but in his estate he shall honor the God of forces. The God of forces is like the devil, basically. The devil, the God of forces, he believes in forces and spiritual things. Like, not things black and white, not absolute, not things you can actually, that are concrete that you can put your finger to, but as in like mysterious things. Like, well, just trust in your heart. Does it feel good? Do it. You know, my truth and your truth. Let's just coexist. Wow. Bullcrap. I say cleave to both based on my own decisions due to our free will. Oh, cleave to what? Oh. But in his estate he shall honor the God of forces, and a God whom his fathers knew not shall he honor with gold and silver. Interesting. He's not, so it's very interesting. He's not going to regard any God, but is also going to regard a God of forces. It sounds like a contradiction, but this word, like, it sounds like a contradiction, but I think the Antichrist is probably going to be a contradictory person. So that's how I'm going to make sense of it. I don't think the Antichrist is going to be logically consistent. No one who disobeys God is. None of them are logically consistent. So he's not going to regard any God. He's not going to regard the God of his fathers. Now, it could be a Muslim. I doubt it. I think he's a Jew. He will magnify himself above all that is called God, but in his estate, wait a second, but in his estate, where he lives, he shall honor the God of forces. So he actually doesn't care about any God. He thinks he is God. But publicly, he's going to pretend that he loves a God of forces. Basically, the God of subjectivity, the God of materialism, the God of just kind of do whatever you want, like the God of Satanism, the devil. And a God whom his fathers knew not shall he honor with gold and with silver and with precious stones. Thus shall he do in the most stronghold with the strange God whom he shall acknowledge and increase with glory, and he shall cause them to rule over many, and shall divide the land for gain. And at the time of the end shall the king of the south push at him, and the king of the north shall come against him like a whirlwind. So the king of the south and the north are coming together to fight against the Antichrist. Who is the king of the south? I thought it was Egypt. I wonder if it's Israel now. And with chariots and with horsemen, with many ships, he shall enter into the countries, and shall overflow and pass over. He shall also enter also to the glorious land, and many countries shall be overthrown, but these shall escape out of his hand, even Edom and Moab and the chief of the children of Ammon. So where are these places? Edom, Moab, and the chief of the children of Ammon. He shall stretch forth his hand also upon the countries, and the land of Egypt shall not escape. Maybe the south is not Egypt. Maybe this. Who is this king of the south? But he shall have power over the treasures of gold and of silver and all the precious things of Egypt, and the Libyans and the Ethiopians shall be at his steps. Libya and Ethiopia. Here's Libya. Here's Ethiopia down here. Libya and Ethiopia will be at his steps. Ethiopia, Libya, and Egypt is going to be defeated by him. Okay. Shall be at his steps, but tidings of the east, but tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him. Therefore he shall grow forth with great fury to destroy and to utterly make away many. So the east could be America. Maybe America's going to join the fight and fight against the Antichrist, or maybe it could be just Britain. Let's look at the map again. East and the north. Assuming that the Antichrist is coming out of Rome, the east could be France, Spain, Portugal, North United Kingdom. Really far east is America, the United States. And then we're going to go west from that. Oh, so much ocean. Oh, so much ocean. Definitely east. America's definitely east of this. Look, there's America. Okay. Okay. Dustin says, cleave to flatteries due to our free will. It will be difficult to say who we got to at the time because our free will can easily be persuaded and corrupted to make a decision to who we choose to flatter. Well, be of a strong courage. Don't let people flatter you. No one likes you anyway, so if they're saying nice things to you, you know they're lying to you. That's the way I look at it. No one likes me, so if they say something nice to me, what do they want? That's a joke, just in case anyone is wondering. But tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him. Therefore he shall go forth with great fury to destroy and to utterly make away many. And he shall plant the tabernacles of his palace between the seas and between the seas in the glorious holy mountains. Yet he shall come to his end, and none shall help him. The glorious holy mountain. Where is the glorious holy mountain? Eh. The holy mountain of God. Sinai Peninsula. Okay, where is that? Okay, this is the Sinai Peninsula right here. It's right in between well, it's right next to Israel, in between Israel and Egypt. Or between yeah. The Sinai Peninsula. So I guess the Antichrist is gonna make a what is he gonna do? He shall plant tabernacles of his palace between the seas, in the glorious mountain. Between the seas in the glorious mountain. So these are the two seas. The Gulf, this Gulf Sea, these two seas, between the two seas in the Holy Mountain. So probably right here. He's gonna make a palace. Okay, that's cool. Real smooth, Adam. Real smooth. I thought it was a mountain. There are buildings there. What? Should I zoom in more? Oh, from the picture. I don't know how much should I zoom in? Um, this mountain. Where are the mountains? These are some mountains. Mount Stone of Musa? Musa? What is that? I mean, here are some mountains. Maybe it's one of these ones. Sinai Peninsula Mountains. Somewhere in there. Okay, what else? Okay, I need to go back through it again just to be sure. Okay. He says, I'm going to show you the truth. Behold, there shall stand up yet 3 kings in Persia. The 4th shall be far richer than they all. This has probably already happened. They will stir up against the realm of Gracia. Okay, and Gracia beats them. A mighty king will stand up. This is Gracia. The mighty king will stand up. He's going to defeat them all, push them all off. And then he's going to be defeated. He's going to be broken. King of Gracia. And then... his kingdom shall be broken and shall divide it to the 4 winds of heaven, north, east, south, west, but not to his prosperity. He's going to be defeated, utterly plucked up. His kingdom shall be plucked up, and the king of the south shall be strong. Who the fudge is the king of the south? Is it Egypt? Is it Egypt or is it Israel? Or is it some other one? I think it's Egypt. This is king of the south, Egypt. Maybe Google just knows. Who is the king of the south in Daniel 11? Alexander the Great? Um, he will also seize their gods, their metal images, and valuable articles of silver and gold, carry them off into Egypt. For some years, the king of the north alone, the king of the north will invade the realm of the king of the south. Thanks, that told me nothing. Okay, this guy says the king of the south refers to the successors to Ptolemy who ruled from Egypt. Maybe it's Egypt. Maybe I was right. 3 ways to identify the king of the south. This says the king of the south is direct. It's terrorist-backed foreign policy against the king of the north. One person said Egypt. So that's what it is. King of South is Egypt. There it is. Wrap it up. That's a wrap. King of Egypt. Okay, there we go. I think the King of South is Egypt. That's what one other person said, so we're going to go with that. Mighty King shall stand up, a great rule, broken. And the King of Egypt, Gonna be strong and his princes, and then one of his princes gonna be stronger than him. He's gonna have dominion. Okay, who's the king of the north? Maybe Google knows. They say Alexander the Great. So Alexander the Great maybe got questions. This is Ken Ham's website, the gotquestions.org. I believe that's Ken Ham. Who's the king of the north? The king of the north mentioned Daniel 11 is actually a series of Greek kings. So Greek and Greece are the same thing, right? Where was Alexander Great from? Pella, Greece. Okay. This is Greece right here. This king of the north is Greece. Does that even make any sense? Oh my gosh. So Greece fights Egypt. Okay. I'm just going to go with that. Dustin says, whoa, we don't know that I wouldn't assume that just yet. Oh. Okay, the king of the south is the king of Egypt. Okay, the king of the north is mentioned in Daniel 11 is actually a series of Greek kings in Syria. I can zoom in so you guys can see this too. I'm at 300%. Okay. Not a whole lot of room. It is actually a series of Greek kings in Syria. Syria is the north of Israel, so the king in Syria is the king of the north. So they say Syria is the king of the north. So Syria is the king of the north? Syria's over here. So they think Syria is the king of the north and Egypt. So Syria is fighting Egypt? That's what he thinks. Okay. What about Croatia? Egypt is to the south of Israel? Yes, it is. Okay. He says the king of the north is the Greek king of Syria, and the king of the south is the Egypt king. So north is Syria and south is Egypt. That's what Ken Ham. This is, I'm pretty sure I got questions is either Ken Ham or it's Ray Comfort. Oh, wow. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with the king of the north is Syria and the king of the south is Egypt. I'm going to go with that, see if it works. I think this calls for a second stream to look into this topic. Maybe um I don't think I need to do a second stream on it. I've been streaming for 2 hours on it. I think what I'm gonna do is just I'm gonna look it over again and put a summary in my video description. I have to go to work, so I can't do that now, but I'll put a summary in the video description of everything we talked about here, and and I would like to just keep moving on. But I think the king of the south is Egypt and the king of the north is Syria, according to this person. That's what some people say, so I'll go with that. Okay. Branch of a root in the state. Into the fortress of the king of the north, and shall deal against them and shall prevail. And shall also carry captives into Egypt. So this king, the king of the south, is the king of Egypt, and he takes captives into Egypt. Their gods, their princes. That makes sense. It says it. That makes sense. He shall continue more years than the king of the north. The king of the north shall come into his kingdom. He shall turn to the land. But his sons shall be stirred up. So the king of the north's sons will be stirred up and assemble a multitude. One and shall pass through. The king of the north's sons are going to fight against the king of the south again. So the king of the north's sons are going to fight against the king of the south, but the king of the north is going to prevail against him. King of the north is going to fight against him and prevail. Many 10,000s shall be destroyed. The king of the north is going to kill many 10,000s of the king of the south, which is Egypt, Syria and Egypt. But it's not going to make a difference. For the king of the north shall return and set forth a multitude greater than the former, and come after certain years a great army with much riches. And in those times shall many stand up against the king of the south, which is Egypt. The robbers of thy people shall exalt themselves to establish the vision, but they shall fall. So the king of the north, Syria, shall come up and cast up a mount and take the mount fenced cities, and the arms of the south shall not withstand. So the north, Syria, is going to be Egypt south. But he that cometh against him, wait a second. But he that cometh against him shall do according to his will, and none shall stand before him, and he shall stand in the glorious land, which by his hand shall be consumed. What? And the king of the north shall come and cast them out, and take the most fenced cities, and the arms of the south shall not withstand, neither by his chosen people, neither shall there be any to strength withstand. But he that shall come against him, but he that cometh against him, who shall do according to his will, and none shall stand before him. He shall stand in the glorious land, which by his hand the land shall be consumed. He shall also set his face to enter with the strength of his whole kingdom, and the upright ones with them, and thus shall he do, and he shall give him the daughter of women, corrupting her, but shall not stand on his side, neither before him. What does that mean? After this shall he turn his face unto the isles, and shall take many but a prince for his own behalf. Shall cause the reproach offered by him to cease without his own reproach. He shall cause it to turn upon him. Then he will turn his face toward the fort of his own land, but she shall stumble and fall and not be found. I don't know verses 16 through 19. I don't know who it's referring to. I do not have a new microphone. This is the same microphone. I don't know verses 16 through 19. I don't know who it's talking about. Then shall stand up in his estate a raiser of taxes, but then he's going to be destroyed. Okay. And then in his state shall stand up a vile person. This is the Antichrist. He's not going to. Wait, what? Verses. The king of the north shall come and cast up a mount and take the most fenced cities, and the arms of the south shall not withstand. So the north is Syria, south is Egypt. The north is going to beat him. But then it says, but he that cometh against him, the king of the north, someone's going to fight against the king of the north and do according to his will. And none shall stand before him. And he's also going to stand in Israel, the glorious land, which by his hand shall be consumed. Who? He shall enter into the strength, his whole kingdom, upright ones with him. Daughter of women. After this, he's going to turn his face to the isles. Someone's going to fight against Syria. And then he's going to be really strong. He's going to turn his face toward the fort of his own land, but then he's going to stumble and fall and die, or not be found. And then stand up out of his estate a raiser of taxes. Who is this person? Then out of his estate, a tax guy is going to stand up, and then he's going to be destroyed. And then after that, then the Antichrist is this vile person to whom they shall not give the honor of the kingdom. He'll come in peaceably, take the kingdom by flatteries. The arms of a flood shall be broken after the league. He's going to work deceitfully. He's going to become small. He's going to become strong with a small people. A small people could be a few handful of rich billionaires. Maybe that's what it means. He shall enter in peaceably upon the fattest of places of the province. He's not going to do what his fathers did. I think it's a Jew. Okay, he shall stir up his power and his courage against the king of the south with a great army. This is the Antichrist, right? And the king of the south, Egypt, will be stirred up by the battle, but they're going to be defeated. Egypt's own people are going to destroy themselves. And both these kings will do mischief. They're going to be lying to each other, sitting across the table, making false like covenants probably. Then shall he return to his own land with great riches. His heart shall be against the holy covenant. So this is the Antichrist, and he shall do exploits and return to his own land. At the time appointed he shall return and come to the south. But it shall not be as the former or the latter. So now perhaps he's coming to Egypt peaceably now. For the ships of Shittim shall come against him. Or maybe he's coming to seek help or something. I'm not sure. The ships of Shittim will come against him. Therefore he shall be grieved and return and have indignation against the holy covenant. He shall even return and have intelligence with them that forsake the holy covenant. And arms shall stand on his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary's strength and take away the daily sacrifice. This is the Antichrist. He does the abomination of desolation. So, verse 16. But he that shall come against him shall do according to his will. The king of the north is Syria. Who is this person in verse 16 that fights against Syria? Something about a corrupt daughter or something. This person who fights against Syria, the same place he comes up out of is the Antichrist. So this could tell us exactly where the Antichrist comes from. Who fights against Syria? That's something I have to look up for another time. I'll have to put it in the description. But someone he's going to fight against Syria. If this hasn't happened yet, then it won't. Then I can't find it out. And then just the Antichrist is going to do wicked things. And then it says the king of Egypt is going to push against him, and the king of the north. So Syria and Egypt are going to fight against uh, the Antichrist. He's going to enter into the glorious land, which is Israel, and many countries shall be overthrown, but these shall escape out of his hand. He shall stretch forth his hand upon the countries, and the land of Egypt shall not escape. So Syria and Egypt are going to fight against the Antichrist, but he's going to beat them. The Antichrist is going to fight them back, and he's going to win. But he shall have power of the treasures of gold and silver, and all the precious things of Egypt, and the Libyans and the Ethiopians shall be at his steps. But tidings of the east and of the north shall trouble him. Therefore he shall go forth with great fury to destroy and utterly make away many, and he shall plant the tabernacle of his palace between the seas of the glorious holy mountain. Yet he shall come to his end, and none shall help him. Okay. So from verses 30, I don't know, 36. I think, well, I need to be done because I do have to go to work, but I think we did very good. Actually, there was a lot less Daniel 8 in this than I thought there was going to be. So I'm very happy with how this turned out. I'm not going to be doing Discord because I have to go to work now. Well, actually, my primary job. Dustin says, I know what to do. Maybe I should enter the Ethereum realm like Doctor Strange and ask God this question. Maybe he would know. God would definitely know. You should definitely get on that. Verses 16 through 19. The king of Syria, the Google said Syria. The king of the north is Syria. It says, but he shall come up against Syria. He's also going to stand in the glorious land by which his hand shall be consumed. Someone is going to fight against Syria. And also they're going to fight against the glorious land, which is Israel. And he's going to destroy it or do much damage to it. And then he's going to go to turn his face to the islands to take them. And then he's going to fall. And then in his estate, a raiser of taxes. And after him, the Antichrist. This is so good. It's telling us stuff. It's so close. Okay, but that is all for today. That is all for today. Thank you everyone who joined. I think it was just you, Dustin, it was you and Martha. But it could be what people will watch the stream in the future. Thank you everyone who joined. That concludes the Bible study for this week, Daniel chapter 11. I'll put a summary in the description. I won't be able to do it now, but that's what I will do. And so, oops. Thank you everyone who joined. Be sure to like the stream, like, comment, share, all that good stuff. And just thank you. Thank you guys and have a good rest of your day. And goodbye.